Right now at 11, retiring from Congress. Bay Area Representative Jackie Speier in an early morning video post to Twitter announcing her retirement from Congress. She's joining us live to tell us what's behind that decision and what's next. And a good morning. Thanks for joining us for our midday newscast. I'm Marcus Washington.
And I'm Laura Garcia. She's a legendary force in Bay Area politics. Congresswoman Jackie Speier announcement really took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, and you know, we have so many questions, and this midday, the Congresswoman is here to answer them live. Congresswoman Speier, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us. I'm sure you got a busy schedule today after that announcement.
Yeah, it's been busy, Marcus, but there's always time to talk to you at Cron.
Oh, well, love that here, NBC Bay Area. But you know what? I want to ask you about that announcement. I know you said on Twitter today that you want to spend more time with your family, more time with your friends, and not just have those moments on the weekend. So was there a specific moment that you knew that you wanted to take that step back?
Well, I've been mulling this decision for probably close to 4 years. And my husband retired about 1.5 years ago. And when I complete my term, it will be 2.5 years. So I think that it was crystal clear that he wanted us to have more time to do the kinds of things that, you know, families do when they have the luxury of retirement. I've served 39 years in public life, and it's been a privilege beyond compare. And I have enjoyed representing my constituents, and I have enjoyed making laws. So it's a great time to say that it's time to say goodbye or farewell, and to pass the torch to a new generation.
Okay, we'll talk about that for a little bit. Of course, we've seen your long career as a public servant, state assembly, Senate, representing Congress since 2008. But this morning on your announcement, you said something really interesting. You said, when you were saying you weren't going to seek re-election on Twitter, you said democracy is fragile and vulnerable. Now, given the state of our nation in recent years and the White House's dip in popularity right now, what did you mean by that?
As you remember, probably, I was in Guyana back in 1978 when I was shot and left for dead. And then I was in the House gallery on January 6th and lying on the floor in one of those gallery tiers when the shot rang out. And I thought, my God, I'm going to lose my life, not in the jungles of Guyana, but in the tabernacle of democracy here in the United States. So we came so very close to a coup, and had those insurrectionists brought their guns into the Capitol, they left them in backpacks outside, but had they brought them in, we could be living under an autocracy today.
Could be a different scenario.
Very much so. I know you've actually called for, more diversity in public service. So the next person that will fill the 14th district, do you have someone that you would like to see in that seat, or even someone you think would be a good choice?
Well, there's lots of great people that I've served with on various levels of government. I'm going to allow them to throw their hats in the ring, and then I'll make a decision. I do think that as we go forward, it's important for young people to recognize that this is their time. They are inheriting a planet that is heating up. We haven't been as good as we should be as guardians of that planet, and more steps need to be taken to deal with climate rise. Our families here in the United States don't have the same benefits that families in many countries around the world have, whether it's parental leave or child care or pre-K. Hopefully we're going to fix some of that in the Build Back Better Act this year. But gun violence continues to be a serious problem. Our overdependence on gun ownership, not having gun safety programs in place, another issue that needs to be addressed, and the need to make sure that we're inclusive in our opportunities for the LGBTQI community, and making sure that there is diversity in the hiring of people on every level of government is also very important to me, and hopefully will be to whomever takes over this seat.
A lot of issues to tackle there. What about you, though? What do you want your legacy to be as you exit this realm of public service?
Well, I hope my legacy will be a reflection on the legislation I've carried. 300 bills signed into law by mostly Republican governors in the state legislature, a number of bills here in Congress that have changed the way we look at military service and the service members and their families, making sure that service members are safe, that sexual assault in the military is dealt with in a fashion that allows people to come forward and the perpetrators are actually held accountable for their conduct. And making sure that we recognize that when the service member serves, so does his or her family. So we've got to be better at identifying mental stress. Suicide prevention is a key component of that, and making sure that we have adequate child care in military service bases as well.
You've always been very cognizant of the needs of the military. Well, we thank you for your service, Congressman Jackie Speier, and for joining us this morning as well.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, best of luck with everything.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Marcus. Good to be with you.
Good to see you.
All right, so now we want to bring in Scott McGrew. Scott, you were listening there. So what did you think what the congressman had to say, as well as she didn't really give a name about her replacement, but you know a lot of people today are starting to think, okay, can I do this?
A lot of people waking up this morning saying, oh, this seat is going to be available a year from now. Yeah, I think there were two interesting points she made. One, obviously, about the Capitol attack, and I'll get to that in a second. But the other, that whoever she does endorse, she did mention she would like to see the next generation. Remember, this endorsement from her, who should take over her seat, will be such powerful weapon for the person who gets that endorsement. Tom Lantos, who used to hold that seat, endorsed her, and she won the special election to replace him after he passed away in the 14th district. Whoever it is who gets the endorsement will probably win, because 80% of the vote in her district went to Democrats, and that's what she was elected on. They haven't elected a Republican representative there, I want to say, since the early 90s. Now, as for her announcement this morning, we have some more video of that she posted to Twitter. 2 minutes, 11 seconds. And Laura's question about what about the attack on the Capitol and her experiences, where she compares that to when she was attacked in Guyana at the People's Temple. I have that soundbite where she talks about the danger to democracy. Let's listen in.
The office holds the power, not me. As I leave, I want to convey my deepest appreciation to you and urge you to protect our precious democracy. It is fragile and vulnerable.
That's as close as she came to directly criticizing the politics in that pre-recorded speech. I'm so glad we were able to talk to her live. Now, Marcus and Laura, whether it's Speier or any other member of Congress in California, remember, we're going to redraw the district soon. Speier herself went from the 12th district to the 14th with redistricting, and we're going to lose one district and one member of Congress with the next redistricting. Not necessarily it's going to be Speier. We don't know yet, but there's a lot of change ahead, and there will be a lot of politics ahead as well.
As there always is, especially in the Bay Area.
Hello. All right, thanks, Scott.